2. It's Jan Andersson in blue for the home team Peterborough. And on the outside, Robbie Kessler from the visitors from Kings Lynn. He is looking down on these riders, and Peter Thompson tries to get up to line. There is our starting marshal, moving away. Up go the tapes on the inside, a real flyer from Jason Crump. They're down already. Oh, tragedy there, and some pain for Jan Andersson. And our referee, Tony Steele, will stop this. The red lights are on. Jan Andersson damaged. Real problems for him. It's an unsatisfactory start. The referee has said he will put all 4 riders back in this one, and I don't know that Jan Andersson is going to be fit for this, because that was tragedy. He's been promoted into the team proper. He's resigned the captaincy to concentrate on those riding, and he is in some trouble there, PC.
Yeah, Jan's had a few injuries this season, and he seemed to get up on his feet there, but he seems to now have a problem. He seemed to be the meat in the sandwich, because we can see the start here. The rider in the yellow from the outside comes straight across. That's Robbie Kessler, runs straight into Jan's side, knocks Jan into the side of Tony Rickardson. Jan Andersson is now down on the track, and really it was a little bit awkward there. He seemed to land on his arm or his shoulder, and that seemed to be possibly the problem. We can see this one again there. His front wheel's taken away there. There was pushing and shoving going into that first turn, and the referee has put all 4 back in.
If you looked at it again, if the referee looked at it again, Peter, Robbie Kessler looked to cut across a bit too soon. Wasn't far enough in front, perhaps.
Yeah, Robbie came across from gate 4, and he come further across to the inside than he should have done. He didn't leave the rider next to him there, Jan Andersson, enough room, and Jan's now sitting up, and hopefully he's going to be able to take his place in the replay.
Andersson, the man in action for Peterborough, who suffered that crash, goes in gate 3. And on the outside, Robbie Kessler, the German. That's the lineup. Coming up now. All are ready. The starting marshal attracts the attention of the referee. He walks away. Up go the tapes. Crump again gets a flyer for the inside. Kessler cuts across. Kessler's in second place behind Crump. Coming up into third place there is Tony Rickardson. We've got the visitors second and third, but out front, Jason Crump, his teammate and partner, Jan Andersson, is at the back. The points level here. Crump picking his own racing line, fast and furious. A great start by the 24-year-old Aussie, Peter.
Yeah, again, Jason made a perfect start from the inside, but quite surprisingly, Robbie Kessler's right in there and going pretty quick. He's not allowing Tony Rickardson to get by, and Rickardson trailing now in third place.
Rickardson in third place will hold off Jan Andersson, I'm sure. Jan Andersson sees slow. I don't know if he's got machinery problems following that little buffeting, but Crump is going wider and wider. And with a lap to go of this 390-yard track, Jason Crump, the Australian, way out in front for his team Peterborough, is going to take the checkered flag. Going wide behind him in second place is Robbie Kessler with Tony Rickardson. There's the pair of them now coming round the top end. The checkered flag is out. Jason Crump wins that. Robbie Kessler is second. Tony Rickardson is third. 3 points apiece. The heat points are shared, and that's how it finishes at the end of heat number 1, with a heat victory for Jason Crump there, and 3 points go to him as he takes the checkered flag. Takes the congratulations of the young fans here at the showground, and for Jason Crump, a highly satisfactory start and a heat victory to his name.
You just went on and whooped them, so what are your advice?
I don't really know. It's very slick tonight. We're just trying to detune the bike a bit, take a bit of power away, but you know, I was pretty happy to come away with beating Tony in that one.
You were pretty eager though, weren't you, to give them your comments?
Well, yeah, I mean, needed to. When the track's slick like this, it's not normally like it, so had to tell them.
Okay, nice one, well done. Thanks a lot, good start. Tony, Peter, back to you.
Travis McGowan, the Australian, for the visitors from Kings Lynn. Craig Watson, fellow Australian, guesting for Peterborough, goes from gate 2. Paul Clues, a guest for Kings Lynn, rides for Reading in the Elite League these days, or in the Premier League these days rather, and David Howe goes to the outside for Peterborough. That's the line out. Travis McGowan, Craig Watson, Paul Clues and David Howe from the inside. Our starting marshal having a few problems getting them underway. Riders pulling back. Starting marshal, though, now has them in line. He will walk away. The riders look down at the magnets to release the tape. Up they go, and on the inside, a great start for Travis McGowan. But coming across in the blue helmet colour there is David Howe. And following him now is Craig Watson. And he's not going to be disgraced here. Riding for the home team Peterborough tonight. He rides for Newport. He comes from Australia, and he's looking every bit the part here. A great start for the home riders here for Peterborough.
Yes, Tony, that's David Howe there in front, riding the inside line. He's got his front wheel on the grass. But Craig Watson's having a great ride in second place. Like I say, he rides for Newport in the Premier League, and he's been drafted here into the Peterborough squad. and of course he's another Australian, but David Howe is riding that very quick line at the moment, right round the inside with his front wheel on the grass.
We should explain the rider in red, Craig Watson, is guesting tonight in place of Mario Giroux, who of course suffered an injury in the prelude to the Grand Prix, but now David Howe in front as we start the final lap, and this is going to be a 5-1 for Peterborough if it stays like this, because David Howe is looking safe and sure in front. He's been followed in his wheel tracks by Craig Watson, and way back is Travis McGowan. There's the checkered flag now, and even further back, a really disappointing ride for Paul Clues, but that's a 5-1 in favour of the home club Peterborough, who now lead by 8 points to 4, and a great ride by the 17-year-old David Howe. We know he's a promising rider, perhaps a shade disappointing in the World Under-21 final at the weekend, but David Howe there showed his true class, and from the start it went the way.
It's a good run to the first corner. They haven't been gating that well, and we've made a lot of changes to the bikes and the way I approached the race more than anything, and I felt good, and yeah, I made a nice start.
Yeah, because gate 4 generally here is probably the worst start, and early on in particular, gate 1 works well, but you seem to just fly out the start.
Let's take a look at the start. We can see it here.
There we go. We lifted nicely, didn't it? And you just on fingers on the clutch. Yeah. That's perfect, isn't it?
I've been lifting a lot out the start, but not been getting the run to the first turn, so I gave it a lot of revs.
Yeah.
It kind of killed the motor and just pulled all the way to the corner. I just controlled it on the clutch, and it's the best feeling in the world to come off gate 4 like that.
That's right, yeah.
How are the conditions generally? We know that Jason was quite animated to tell you guys what to do out there when he came back. Very slick, yeah?
It's slicker than it normally is here. I'm getting quite a lot of grip, actually. I'm quite happy with the way it's entering the corners. Yeah. Maybe we'll just make a few little changes to give it a little bit more out the corner.
Yeah, you seem to be sitting right back and the bike was driving quite nicely.
I'm getting a lot of drive down the straight.
Yeah, this could be your night then, couldn't it?
But I know you're a little bit disappointed with what happened at the under-21s. You were 12th there, but you've got so much time, we forget how young you are.
Yeah, I actually finished 11th in that, so it's a little bit better than what people think. Yeah, I was disappointed, but it's my first time. I was one of the youngest riders there. I've got another 4 attempts at it, so I've got plenty of time.
Yeah.
All right, well done, and we'll let you get back to second.
Next to him will be Stefan Andersson, the Swede for Kings Lynn, currently on loan from Eastbourne. Ron Sullivan, the Peterborough captain, will go from gate 3, and BRHEL back from injury on the outside for the Kings Lynn Knights. And really, Peter Collins, I think that Kings Lynn have got to keep in this meeting right from now on, haven't they? Their captain on the inside in blue, that's Nigel Sadler. Starting marshal walks away. Up go the tapes, they all lift in blue. It's Nigel Sadler, picks it up, coming round in white. Here's BRHEL, he's fast, he's tracked there by Ron Sullivan, now back in 3rd place. But BRHEL's got the right line to start with, picked up the grip, he's gone wide, and now he's extending his lead. And the Peterborough boys are going to have to battle here.
Oh, this is great for Kings Lynn. BRHEL's having a great ride there. He's riding that dirt. You can see the rider in blue, Nigel Sadler's trying to run round the inside, but all the grips out there wide right now, and BRHEL is right in it.
Well, it's interesting the line he picked up, because he is pursued by Nigel Sadler. Ron Sullivan in red, the Peterborough captain, has been hugging the inside, but clearly the speed, the grip and the way to pull away is BRHEL, the man in yellow and black, and that's exactly what Kings Lynn want. If he went much wider there, he'd be over the fence, but with a lap to go, BRHEL there is leading this one from the pair representing Peterborough. Now Ron Sullivan's moving through on the inside. Ron Sullivan's trying to pick up a challenge. At the back, Stefan Andersson is struggling, but they're into the final bend, and the effort has been put in by Ron Sullivan, but BRHEL holds him off well to allow the Peterborough pair in places 2 and 3, with Nigel Sadler finishing 3rd. That's the split of the points at 3 points apiece. It's 11 points to 7, Peterborough in the lead. The Kings Lynn fans here will be delighted with that performance of BRHEL as he takes the checkered flag there. No sign of the injury. His bike, you could say, was pulling.
I come back from the injury, so you always don't know, what's going on, the confidence is a little bit low. But it's always helped when you win first race, to bring more confidence for the rest of the meeting. And I'm quite happy with my result in my first race.
Absolutely, that should take you through the night quite nicely. But we've noticed on Sky that if a team gets too far away in terms of points too early, it's too difficult to motivate everybody to get back up there. So it's very important, isn't it, for Kings Lynn to keep this a tight match with Peterborough?
Yes, sure. If you can keep with them, it's always better. But because when you start losing, you don't know if it's what to change on the bike, and start to be a little bit more nervous, and the things going wrong. So it's good when we can keep in close close to the Peterborough.
Okay, well, congratulations both. Thanks a lot. Thanks for
Side goes David Howe in such good form first time out in heat number 2. Paul Clues, the guest rider from Reading, racing for Kings Lynn tonight, goes from gate 2. He's disappointing first time out in heat 2. Sam TESAR, the Czech Republic rider, the 36-year-old, is the oldest rider in the field. And on the outside is Leigh Adams, the Australian. And of course, track condition, home side BRHEL. Well, the visitors BRHEL won the last race, but now here we go for heat number 4. Up go the tapes, a flyer from the inside from David Howe again. And round on the outside, there goes Leigh Adams to pick it up for the visitors from Kings Lynn. Leigh Adams has picked up the same racing line as BRHEL used in the last heat. That's allowed him to stretch his lead. The home pair in second and third place, David Howe in blue, Sam TESAR in red. And at the back in yellow and black now is Paul Clues, but Leigh Adams got it absolutely right.
Yes, Leigh's looking a lot more convincing than Tony Rickardsson did in his first heat. Leigh immediately is riding that fast line out wide. We saw BRHEL do it in the earlier race, and he's gone straight for that position. And again, he's come from the gate 4 start position.
If Kings Lynn are going to have to stay in it, though, they're going to have to pack in riders behind these heat winners, and they're not doing that at the moment because it's the home men from Peterborough with a lap to go who are in second and third place. David Howe is second. In third place is Sam TESAR, but the flying Australian Leigh Adams is out the front, and down that back straight is stretching his lead even further away to take the 3 race points and the checkered flag. David Howe is going to take second place in blue. A good ride by him. Third in red is Sam TESAR. For the third heat in 4, the points are split at 3 points apiece. The home team Peterborough lead by 14 points to 10. There's all to race for with 4 heats gone, and Leigh Adams showed just how it can be done from the start and around that first bend to take the checkered flag. He was never headed.
So far, all the action has been from that outside gate.
Gate 4 looks quite good. I think gate 1's probably the better gate, and I think once you get to the corner on gate 1, it's kind of nice. You can run it around the line, but yeah, I managed to get it off gate 4. It's quite slick. It's not a bad jump, but you've got to come across a lot of slick stuff, so yeah, it makes it a little bit difficult, but no, it's good.
It's just a little bit surprising because gate 4 generally isn't that good here.
Well, let's take a look at the start, guys, because we can see it here.
Yeah, I think really gate 4 is, as you say, it's never that special here, but I think 2 and 3 are so slick.
Right.
That
it's enabling you to get away and get ahead of those 2 guys.
Yeah, I thought I'd just try and put it in the dirt there, and I think it was David Howe was coming up the inside, so I didn't know whether to turn back on the pole, but I got a good run. You know, it felt pretty comfortable up there.
That's what I was going to ask you, whether you were tempted to actually stick it on the line there, because quite often you can do that and then slow everything down.
Exactly right, but I've got a pretty big gear, and I wanted to sort of get my momentum up coming off the turn, and I knew if I could come out in front, we could just get our speed up and go from there, so it worked well.
Yeah, you were very smooth after that, you know, in actual fact too smooth. How do you do that?
Well, the track's pretty slick tonight, but I was trying to just put it in the dirt and conserve my tyre, you know, try and keep my tyre pretty good for the next race. It's going to be a tough night, especially the way the gates are, you know, it's a bit of a lottery, really.
All right, okay.
Right, but the tyres are really working well.
There's the lineup then. Heat number 5. Robbie Kessler, the German for Kings Lynn, goes from the inside. Ron Sullivan, the Peterborough captain in red, goes from gate 2. Tony Rickardsson, the world champion, Kings Lynn captain, goes from gate 3. Nigel SADLER, the favoured, gate 4 on the outside. Remember, 3 of the 4 heats have been level points, 3 apiece. The decisive reserve heat won 5-1 by way. The floodlights taking over. Away goes that starting marshal. Up go the tapes, a flyer on the inside by Robbie Kessler. Nigel SADLER, though, the man from gate 4, goes round the outside in the blue helmet colours, picks up the same racing line as the 2 previous heat winners have. He goes wide. He's now followed by his teammate Ron Sullivan. This is going to be a 5-1 in favour of the home team the way it goes. Gate 4 telling again, but now Sullivan comes through on the inside, and it's the Aussies from Peterborough, 1 and 2, and holding 4th in heat number 5 to take a maximum if it stays like this.
Yes, surprisingly there, Tony Rickardsson is at the back. His teammates actually holding him up. Kessler's riding in 3rd place. Tony's having a lot of trouble to get by him, and he's unable to mount a challenge on the Peterborough boys. But Nigel SADLER's made a great run. There is SADLER in front, and there are the 2 Kings Lynn boys at the back.
With a lap to go, the man from gate 4, Nigel SADLER. Remember, 3 of the 4 heats so far have been won from gate 4, and this could be 4 out of 5 with Nigel SADLER, the 20-year-old Aussie from Adelaide, is out front, pursued by his captain, Ron Sullivan. But he's going to win this in blue ahead of Sullivan in red. In 3rd place is Robbie Kessler in yellow and black. A rare last place for the world champion, Tony Rickardsson. Totally unexpected, but a 5-1 heat victory for the home side from Peterborough. They now lead by 19 points to 11. With a more than 6-point lead they now have, the option of tactical substitutes is now available to the visitors from Kings Lynn. But what a ride by those two. The man,
I don't know, you know, we're just spinning really badly. It's extremely slick out there, and I think we totally wrong setup today. We got motors that will work on a track like this, but unfortunately we thought it going to be a little bit more grip on tonight because of the TV and stuff, so we didn't have it brought it, and I'm struggling a bit out there. We've been testing both bikes and I don't really know what to do now. We just have to try to make the best of it and see what we can do.
Okay.
This one is Jan Anderson, their ex-captain, now riding at number 2 in blue for Peterborough. Gate 2, Leigh Adams, a heat victory to his name already. The man from Mildura, the Aussie for Kings Lynn. Gate 3 is Jason Crump, who won his first race, of course, now living up on the Gold Coast in Australia. And on the outside, Travis McGowan. 3 Australians going from gates 2, 3 and 4. And on the inside, the 30-year-old Dane, Jan Anderson. We're looking over the shoulder right now of Jason Crump. Starting marshal gets in the picture. He will now move away. The riders will look across to the magnets. The tapes are released by those magnets and flyer on the inside of the man in blue, Jan Anderson. But coming round now and picking it up in white there is Leigh Adams. Adams picks it up down the back straight, pursued by Jason Crump in red. They both go past Anderson as if he's standing still. But Leigh Adams now has pole position here. Crump's coming through on the inside. It'll be interesting on this bend as Crump goes on the grass with his front wheel, but gains the space against Adams, who will now have to come through on the inside. 2 class riders, some brilliant riding there by Jason Crump out front. Now Adams will have to chase him. What's happening at the back hardly matters after the battle between these 2 Aussies.
A great overtaking manoeuvre there by Jason Crump. Leigh Adams is riding real well, but Crumpy knows this track like the back of his hand. Crump is now pulling away in the lead. Leigh Adams is second and third there, bringing in third place.
Jan Anderson in third place, picked up by Jason Crump out front now, ahead of Leigh Adams. Crump is going to sail on to his second heat victory of the night here and provide Peterborough with their 4th of the night individually. There he is as he takes the checkered flag in red. Jason Crump ahead of Leigh Adams. In third place in blue is Jan Anderson. That's 4 points to 2 in favour of Peterborough for that heat. They now lead by 23 points to 13 with 6 heats gone and 9 to go. And Jason Crump has recorded his second heat victory in 2 rides tonight, and it all happened with a marvellous pass on the second lap when he went inside Leigh Adams. But from the start, the battle was joined by the 2 Aussies.
Yes, this is the start. The tapes go up. Jason Crump there in the red doesn't quite make the start, but on the inside, the rider in white, Leigh Adams, on gate 2 makes a great start. When they get to the corner, he runs straight out towards the outside. Jan Anderson's riding the inside. It looks as though Anderson's got the best line, but Leigh Adams knew exactly what he wanted to do, go straight out for that grip, which is what he did. Now Crumpy runs in round the outside of Leigh Adams. Leigh thinks that Crumpy's going to come round him, but on the inside, Crumpy comes straight through and right across the grass. His back wheel on all that grip coming into the turn, and that was a fantastic overtaking manoeuvre. There, Leigh Adams is looking to cut back, but it's too late. Jason's got all the speed, got the best line, and looking so strong there, Jason Crump. What a race by Jason.
What a race by Jason Crump. I think we should explain that he is allowed to put his front wheel on the grass, but not both. And now he's in the studio
right,
with Jonathan and Kelvin.
Yeah, he's just using us to look after his bike while he gets organised. Great start and also a great race for you. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, it wasn't a great start, not from where I was sitting anyway. Gate 3 is pretty slick tonight, which is pretty usual here, but with the cloud and everything, it's very moist and slimy, and just didn't get out of the blocks at all, unfortunately. As you can see there, Leigh's got a good run there. I thought about trying to go on the outside of him, but he moved over onto the dirt. Just there, I thought I was going to do it, and then he put himself in front of me.
Yeah, it almost looked like your front wheel hit his back wheel.
I possibly did, but...
It almost looked like, looking from here, it looked like you were going to come down for a moment.
But
now, hang on a minute, we've got the World Grass Track with me, but
that's right,
you're doing a bit yourself here.
Here we go. Bit of local knowledge, I think, here.
Lee knew where I was coming from, and he got there and he kind of moved over.
Yeah. I think he
not moved over. I mean, he knew I was going to come through quite hard, and he got himself in the same position as what he put me in on the first corner there.
Yeah.
But
I think Leigh realised that he may have left too much of a gap.
Yeah.
And I think if he had dropped it on, you probably would have clashed. So
probably. He did
the wise thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, the first corner here was quite hectic anyway. So you know, win some, lose some.
Sure. Yeah. But something that you can get away with here, isn't it, by putting your front wheel up on the grass?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, well, you spent a year riding here, Kelvin. We all made it work for us at different times, and it's one of the tricks of the East of England showground.
All right, well, you've got that lead that you need at the moment. We'll let you get back to the pits.
Stefan Anderson goes for Kings Lynn on the inside. Sam TESAR for Peterborough goes from gate 2. BRHEL, a heat winner for Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And Craig Watson, the guest from Newport, the Australian, rides from gate 4 for the home club, Peterborough. Motors roar. The tapes go up and away on the inside in white there. Brilliant start by Stefan Anderson, but look at the disappointment at the back because Craig Watson is left standing, and now at least a share of the points is at issue here for the visitors in this one. But going wide now in red is Sam TESAR. The chase is on for the rider in yellow and back, BRHEL. Right at the back is Stefan Anderson. At least a share of the points here on offer for Kings Lynn, but can they catch the man out front? Sam TESAR now is picking up that line and looking very fast.
Yes, Tony, 2 Czech riders, first and second, both for opposing teams. Sam TESAR leading the race very, very quickly. BRHEL, who won that earlier heat, doesn't seem to have any answer to him. They both want to use that outside line. That is the quick line. It's like a tram line out there. They're both riding that same line, so it looks as though the positions may stay as it is.
If they could go much wider, they'd be up the safety fence, but the 2 Czechs are out there now. Sam TESAR for the home club Peterborough in the red helmet colours is having time to look back. Looking back even further, the second place man BRHEL, and now Stefan Anderson is almost retiring at the back, and he's going to have a long push in if that's what happens. But the race is won by the rider in red, Sam TESAR, ahead of BRHEL in yellow, and now Stefan Anderson in the back straight is going to have to cruise round to get that 3rd point or the single point, and he might get it. He might have to push. I think he's going to make it under some sort of power, and well, that is a point to ensure his team a 3-all, and now the home club Peterborough lead by 26 points to 16. But the race winner, Sam TESAR, his first win of the night, an important one that could be in the final countdown as he took the checkered flag. His team lead 26 points.
Pretty happy to get a point from the grid tonight.
Oh, come on, Tony, have a bit more. That's not the Tony we know now. Come on, you've only dropped 2 points in 4 meetings.
Yeah, so hopefully I can pull myself together and find the right setting for the bike, and hopefully can pull off a few race wins.
Absolutely. I mean, you really need a 5-1. Kings Lynn really need you to pull some points back here.
Yeah, we sure do, and hopefully we can get one now.
OK, we'll go with that.
Meters back, but there's the lineup. The tactical sub Tony RICKARDSSON on the inside. David Howe from Peterborough goes from gate 2. Robbie Kessler, the German from Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And on the outside, that's the Peterborough number 2, Jan Anderson, their former captain. Of Thomas Gollop at the top place, but this is league action. This is heat 8. This is the East of England showground, and up go the tapes now, and RICKARDSSON kicks it down. RICKARDSSON picks it up. RICKARDSSON's in first place, but coming round with some speed is Jan Anderson round the outside. Jan Anderson's going on the inside. A brilliant ride by Jan Anderson, and somehow RICKARDSSON's got to come back because through is David Howe, and now RICKARDSSON's going to have to battle with the pair of them because David Howe has picked it up. A truly brilliant ride. Surprise tactics by the 17-year-old, and he's in first place. Jan Anderson is back in second place, and that could be the turning point of the meeting to sway it permanently the way of the home club Peterborough, because with 2 laps to go, David Howe is in front. In second place, Jan Anderson, the Peterborough pairing, and the world champion Tony RICKARDSSON is back in 3rd, and I just wonder whether this could be the thing that turns the league the way of Peterborough as they go to the final lap.
Oh, fantastic riding from David Howe. David basically passed Tony RICKARDSSON, and that allowed his teammate Jan Anderson to come through also. They were all over Jan Anderson, and Tony RICKARDSSON basically now is in 3rd place, overtaken by both these Peterborough boys.
They take the checkered flag, the salute, the punch of the air from David Howe. Another 5-1 in favour of the home club Peterborough. Really, this lead now extends to 31 points to 17, a 14-point lead for Peterborough, and David Howe with a truly brilliant overtake there, which took him from 3rd to 1st, past the world champion, past his teammate, and on the way to the checkered flag. What a great victory that is for that pair.
Oh, what a fantastic ride. There on the inside is Tony RICKARDSSON. It makes the perfect start from the inside. You can see there from the other angle, he gets to the corner first, he looks across for his teammate, he sees his teammate Robbie Kessler's with him, but then he realises that Jan Anderson's coming round the outside. Jan then chops down to the inside, takes the line from Tony RICKARDSSON. David Howe's riding that inside line, also comes straight through to take the both of them in one go, and there was some great team rating after that from the two Peterborough riders, but Tony Rickardson was totally caught napping there. He wasn't out on the fast line, and he allowed the two Peterborough boys to come straight by him.
I think he'd probably settle for one, but when the second one came through there, which was David Howe, you could almost see the look of the surprise on the world champion's face. And what a ride by David Howe as he punches the air, takes the checkered flag, and after that, well, it hasn't taken him long to get to our studio to talk with Jonathan and Kelvin.
Well, you can have Michael Owen and David Beckham. We've got David Howe of the youngsters of Speedway from Britain coming up, and you've just thrashed the world champion on your own there.
Yeah, I think all credit's got to go to Jan Andersen there. He made the move, he took Tony out on the third and fourth turn. Well, I kind of just crept round the inside. I didn't make the best of starts, I just crept round and snuck by him.
Sure, but you took advantage of it and you were able to dive underneath Tony, and the speed you've got around the inside is superb.
Yeah, I saw what was happening when Jan came down that back straight, and I was hoping he was going to do it, and he did, so it's paid off.
Yeah, you know,
let's take a look.
Here we go. Tony's away here now, and it looks like he's got it under control. But Jan gets a lot of speed there. Yeah. Dives underneath him. I think that takes Tony by surprise.
Yeah, I saw Tony lock up just there.
Right.
That's where I kind of...
And now you make your move. He's looked at you and you think, crikey, two of them.
Like I said, I've got the bike set up so well for the inside. I just took Jan out there. That's probably what he's not too happy about.
Right.
There's so much speed down around the inside, it's not worth me hitting the dirt. I tried to hit the dirt here, but I lost out.
Yes.
I go for the dirt there a little bit. It's just quicker around the inside.
Yeah. But rides like that must boost your confidence overall. You know, you must, you know, to beat the world champion and to come from behind like that, you must feel
Kevin,
tough.
I was going to ask you, I mean, how important is when you see young riders like David going out here? Leigh Richardson's just won the under-21 championship. What about these young men?
Oh, it's vital. It's vital for the sport that we need to have young English guys like David and Leigh Richardson doing well. And if they can, and particularly in this league. And you know, you've taken the gamble, you've come in, you could have ridden Premier League, couldn't you?
It was tough for me. I had a good start of the season, then a big bad dip in the middle of the season really, where I was hardly scoring at all.
But what's made the difference now? Well,
I've started using Klaus Lausch as an engine tuner in Germany, and it's just giving me the boost. And now my confidence is back again, and it sounds stupid, it was good that I had that bad spell, because it's made me into a much better rider.
Yeah, well, and you need some bad times to appreciate the good ones. The good times. But, you know, like Klaus Lausch is a good tuner and obviously doing a good job.
All right, well done to you, and keep going tonight. Let's get back to our commentary team for the next heat.
Yes, David Howe, one of the few riders on GM machinery, most of them riding Yawas here tonight. But heat number 9 sees Leigh Adams on the inside for Kings Lynn. Nigel Sadler goes for Peterborough from gate 2. Travis McGowan, the Aussie, out of luck so far for Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And on the outside, it's Ron Sullivan, the Peterborough captain. This is heat 9. Remember, it's a 15 before the interval. They're beginning to get back on this, will the visitors, Kings Lynn. But up go the tapes. A fly there on the inside from Nigel Sadler, but beaten to it by the rider in white, Leigh Adams. Adams picks it up, going round the outside. From gate 4 is Ron Sullivan going round his fellow Australian here. What a ride by Ron Sullivan. Leigh Adams will have to hold it tight. Sullivan picks up the grip. Sullivan has to swap as Adams goes by him. Sullivan now will pick up the outside. Adams takes the grass. Sullivan comes again behind him. Back in third place is Nigel Sadler, and two great Aussies out front are having some battle.
Yeah, we know the outside line's very, very quick, but Leigh Adams there was getting lots of grip from the inside and was doing exceptionally well. But now on the inside, Ryan Sullivan's come straight through there on the inside of Leigh Adams.
Ron Sullivan repeating the move by Jason Crump earlier in the night. Front wheel on the grass, back wheel picking up the grip, and away he went now with a lap to go. He's in front in red is Ron Sullivan. Leigh Adams is back in second place. Sullivan's teammate Sadler's in third. If it stays like this, it'll be a 4-2 in favour of the home team and will extend their lead to 16 points as the checkered flag beckons and is taken there by Ron Sullivan in red. Ahead of in white, Leigh Adams. Back in third place in blue there is Nigel Sadler. Unlucky again for Travis McGowan, but a fine win by the Peterborough captain extends that lead now to 35 to Peterborough, and just now, well, they are battling with 19 for Kings Lynn, a 16-point lead at the interval. Well, it's going to be tough for them to overcome this, and from here, well, Sullivan and all had to battle.
Yeah, what a fantastic race we had here with Leigh Adams there on the inside. Looks as though Leigh's made a good start on the inside. He's decided he's going to ride right round that white line. His front wheel's on that white line, Now it's on the grass. Now look at Ryan Sullivan. Ryan's going very, very wide, using that outside line. Now when they come onto the back straight there's a tiny gap between the fence and between Leigh Adams' handlebar, and Ryan Sullivan goes straight through that gap. But Leigh Adams reads it very, very well. He's not fazed by this. He knows there's still a bit of grip low down, and now he rides the inside, takes that lead away again from Ryan Sullivan. Now when they get to the pits turn again for the second time, here's Sullivan, change direction again, straight across the inside again, straight across the grass, takes that lead again, straight from Leigh Adams, and now they're both in the dirt on the outside, but now Ryan Sullivan's in the driving seat. The last turn, what a ride from Ryan Sullivan, fantastic speedway race. 3 points there for Ryan Sullivan.
Ryan Sullivan greeted by the checkered flag, and Emma Buchan, the flag rider on the inside for Kings Lynn. Bo BRHEL taking his gate position, the 33-year-old from Waldorf in the Czech Republic. It's Jan Andersson from Peterborough goes from gate 2. Stefan Andersson, the Swede from Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3 on the outside, points to 19 as we go into heat number 10. 9 heats gone, still 6 to come. Our starting marshal gets them set. The riders look down, the tapes fly up and away they go. And from gate number 4, Jason Crump cuts across. He won't be beaten from here. In second place in yellow is Bo BRHEL for the visitors from Kings Lynn. In third place, Jan Andersson, disappointing at the back for Stefan Andersson. Not for the first time tonight, but Jason Crump looks unbeatable on this form.
Yes, notice now the riders are riding back quite close to the inside. The track's being graded, all the dirt's being pulled back down to the inside, and certainly now on this first lap, second lap, they're all riding very close to the pole line at the moment.
Jason Crump will have time to look back. He's extending his lead with every turn of the wheel in front of Bo BRHEL in second place. Coming through in third now is Jan Andersson. If it stays like this, it'll be a 4-2 and extend the lead even more. At the moment, though, in front with a lap to go, Emma Buchan, the flag marshal, shows the flag to Jason Crump, who goes into his final lap. Moving through into second place now is Jan Andersson. What a battle there. This will be a 5-1, but coming back strongly is Bo BRHEL. He won't give up without a fight. Second place sees the battle. Second place is going to be won in the end there by Bo BRHEL in yellow. He gets it just ahead of the rider in blue, but that's a 4-2 advantage in favour of the home club. Peterborough lead by 39 points to 21 now, and the visitors have not had a single heat advantage. We've had 4 heats with the points level. Every other one's been a heat advantage in favour of Peterborough.
Now listen, Maestro, you said you didn't like your start last time. What about this time?
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Okay.
Gate 4 is actually surprisingly good. It's never normally that great here, but nice bit of dirt down there on the fence, and managed to get across everybody on the first corner, which is always pretty handy.
Yeah, you didn't run for the dirt then. It looked like you just dropped it on the line.
Yeah, well, we just had a bit of an interval and they graded the dirt around, so there wasn't really a lump of dirt on the outside to aim for to hit. So I thought coming from 4, I needed to get across and stop everybody and use that grass again.
Jess, we've been talking about, obviously, the possibilities of the Elite League, and it's now getting down to the nitty-gritty. There's only a few teams now. There's about 3 or 4, maybe 5 teams who are still in it, and obviously you're one of them. But at the start of the season, I wonder, having just won the Premier League, what were your aspirations coming in?
Well, obviously, we put together a pretty young, promising side, you know. I mean, apart from, you take TESAR and Jan Andersson out, you know, they're the 2 senior guys in the team. And, you know, myself, I'm 24, Ryan's 24, we got SADLER 21 and David Howe 17, you know. I mean, we're a young side, you know, and a lot of people didn't really expect us to do great things at the start of the season, probably because of that. But I always felt confident that we'd be able to do it because, you know, there's a room for improvement in all of us.
Yeah, you had a season away from Peterborough because they dropped down a division. Was that something that you were disappointed about and you were happy to come back?
Very happy to come back. I mean, Peterborough's a track I love, you know. I can come here and ride every week and really, really enjoy it. Last year was unfortunate, but I had a decent year at Oxford, had a few injury problems, but certainly at the start of the year I was very happy to come back to Peterborough. It's just like my home in England.
All right, okay.
Let's take a look at the next seat. You just mentioned Sam there, but he may be the elder statesman, but he's riding pretty well tonight. Very well. I mean, he's a very quiet man, Sam, and to get through to him, you've got to really push to get through to him. But when you can get through, he's a really great guy, and he's got so much experience. And you know, the likes of myself, we can pick a lot of things up from Sam because he's probably been in 4 or 5 world finals over the years, and you know, he's a very experienced rider.
He's good here too, isn't he, particularly?
Exceptionally good at Peterborough. He's just virtually a track specialist here. And
another compatriot of yours, Craig Watson from Sydney.
Where are you guys breeding these guys from? I tell you what.
They're coming out of the woodwork, aren't they, from all over the place. It seems to be on a high Australian speedway.
Yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with David Tapp running the 500 series in Australia. He's taking a lot of the best guys in the world to Australia to race, and it's helping us to compete at a higher level, and it's also making the young boys in Australia actually want to take Speedway up as a job and a career again, yeah.
We hear that the Grand Prix are going to expand to all over the world, and I'm sure that'll include Australia. In fact, it's bound to.
Yeah.
But how good is the actual, world of Speedway in Australia at the moment?
Well, like I said, with the help of David Tapp, putting a lot of time and effort in over the last couple of years, as you know, Kelvin, have been there and racing for him. He's increasing the profile of the sport as much as he can, and it seems to be catching on a bit.
A determined look there from Tony Rickardsson, but that body language says it all. It hasn't been his night. You guys fighting for the averages, you must have a little bit of a grin knowing that you could be leading it soon.
Well, it's very, very rarely you see Tony have a meeting like he's having tonight, and I'm sure he can go out and start winning a race at any time now, and he'll probably go out and win this one.
Sure. They've got Leigh Adams coming in here as well.
Oh, yeah.
Tony's in, maybe.
It's a tactical substitute. They must be trying to pull some points back. But we had a good result at Kings Lynn. We drew with them up there on the night, and it's very difficult to go away when you haven't got a lead to defend at all.
Sure.
That's been the key to your form, is winning away as well, isn't it?
Well, we haven't won that many away, but we've held them very close. I think our biggest defeat was at Poole, but
bonus points come into it, don't they?
Apart from that, the bonus points are very achievable from every meeting we've had so far away, and it's very important for our league standing at the end of the season.
All right, well, Jason Crump and the boys looking very happy at the moment for Peterborough, because they lead it by a massive margin. What can Kings Lynn do in this heat? Let's find out with Peter Collins and Tony Millard.
Well, what Kings Lynn have to do is to get their first heat advantage of the night, because so far we've seen a 5-1 in Heat 2, we've seen a 5-1 in Heat 5 and a 5-1 in Heat 8. We've seen 4 heats with the points drawn. The rest have been 4-2s in favour of the home club Peterborough, and they now lead by 39-21. As we start Heat 11 with Sam TESAR of Peterborough on the inside. Leigh Adams goes from Kings Lynn, the Australian, from gate 2. Craig Watson, the guest from Newport, the Australian, rides from gate 3. He comes from Sydney. And Tony Rickardsson, the world champion, comes in as a 10 have come from that gate in the 10 heats. Away goes the starting marshal. Up they go. And this time Tony Rickardsson is still struggling, but going wide and now trying to pick it up, but gaining very little here, because out front in red, Sam TESAR is going well. He's going fast. The elder statesman, the 36-year-old, is in front at the moment in the red helmet colours, but battling behind him, Leigh Adams, the tactical substitute, and Tony Rickardsson to earn a share of the points. Rickardsson moving into second place. At the back and out of this one surely is Craig Watson, but out front and going well is Sam TESAR, and the evening gets better and better for Peterborough.
Yeah, Sam TESAR's riding a great race to be holding off Leigh Adams and Tony Rickardsson. What a great ride from him. He's riding that inside, he's riding the outside, he's riding all over the track, and it looks as though now that Tony Rickardsson and Leigh Adams are not going to be able to get past him, because TESAR seems to be totally dominating this heat now.
He is. Sam TESAR goes into the final lap in front. Now he's hugging the inside. Rickardsson's in second place. In third place there is Leigh Adams. It's now getting processional. At the back is Craig Watson, who's really struggling, but Sam TESAR here is going to win his second heat of the night in the red helmet colour. He takes the checkered flag ahead of Tony Rickardsson in second place and Leigh Adams in third place. That's the best return so far tonight for the world champion Tony Rickardsson. But that man there, Sam TESAR, maybe the oldest rider out of the 14 in action tonight, but there he certainly was the most impressive of that quartet and deserved his victory.
Great stuff.
Thank you very much, thank you.
But you must be pleased with the form that these young boys are putting out at the moment, and the team's looking better and better every week.
Yeah, we're beating everybody here, young, proven. Yeah. And we all riders as well. we got to.
That's right. Jason was saying that, you know, even though Jason's riding on top of his form, he still looks to you for information or some advice at times. Do you feel you're able to give that to the team now that you've been involved in the sport for so long?
You know, all this, we are like experienced. We got a lot of experience, and we can tell a lot as well.
Sure. You're able to discuss things and have ideas coming backwards and forwards.
The young riders, yeah.
Right.
So do you feel that, we were just talking to Jason, did you feel that this team's good enough to win the title this year?
Of course we are. We're going to win it.
Okay, well, that's a good enough prediction for me.
Sure.
It's Kelvin Tatum, the current long track champion. In the pits tonight is Simon Wigg, the former world long track champion. So champions abounding here. I wonder if we have more in terms of Peterborough. Are they potential champions for later on tonight? The lineup: Ryan Sullivan on the inside. BRHEL goes from gate 2 for Kings Lynn. The man we've talked about, young David Howe, the 17-year-old for Peterborough, gate 3, and Stefan Anderson, disappointing for Kings Lynn tonight. He goes from the outside with just a single point to his name. It's the lineup. This is heat number 12. Away they go from the inside in the red helmet colours. Ryan Sullivan picks it up. BRHEL's in second place. Coming round in white is Stefan Anderson. He will have work to do at the back. The rider in David Howe. Disappointing for him this time, but he was caught from the gate and is going well out front now. The rider in red, Ryan Sullivan, the Peterborough captain, providing yet another heat victory for them. BRHEL is in second place. His teammate and partner Stefan Anderson in third, looking for a share of the points, but Ryan Sullivan is classy and fast out front.
Yes, Ryan's flying. He seems to be in a totally different race to the other guys. David Howe there, who went so well earlier on, now is struggling at the back. He's trying to find a way past the two Kings Lynn boys, but Ryan Sullivan flying in this race, Tony.
Ryan Sullivan is flying with a lap and a half to go, and he will provide surely yet another heat victory for Peterborough. He's got time to look back. He looks back fully 35 metres as he sees in his wake the two visiting riders who are going to earn a share of the points here, unless David Howe can close the gap at the back. But Ryan Sullivan is on his way to his second successive heat victory here, and this he will take the checkered flag. He will look back, and Ryan Sullivan knows now that his team is assuredly the winners of this meeting. They are there, they are in charge. A share of the points in that one at 3 points apiece. They lead by 45 points to 27, and Ryan Sullivan gets the congratulations of the local fans. They've enjoyed that one, and so too, I'm sure, has he, as he takes the checkered flag.
And over there.
Yeah, it was good fun, and we had it was a good weekend as far as the speedway went. We got a result, and it was my last year, so I'm quite happy.
It was, of course, the World Under-21s, and you came third, which was a tremendous result. What have all the guys in Peterborough been saying to you?
Yeah, they're happy for me, you know. They're a good bunch of lads, and they try to get by all the riders when they're off doing individual events, and yeah, they're all happy for me. And yeah, I'm happy, and they're all giving me a bit of grief now behind the camera, but...
I know they are. Stop trying to put him off. I'll tell you who it is. Come with me. It's that Ryan Sullivan. He's not getting away with this. Ryan Sullivan poking your tongue out and doing rude things. It's a great night for you, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the boys are going really well, and I couldn't hope for anything better on my first night as captain.
No, absolutely. It's been a bit of a good luck charm being captain, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's good, really. All the boys get on well, and no one really needs a captain. Everyone's a captain, so you know, it's fantastic.
Not in your wildest dreams could you have thought to have been so far ahead. I mean, they've had a lot of problems tonight. Obviously, Kings Lynn, Tony's really, really struggling, and when Tony struggles, it seems that the rest of them do too. Yeah,
you know, it's hard. It is a tough match coming here. All the boys ride the track really well, and we're all fired up to do well. We drew away at home, at their home track, so you know, we're just keen to win every home meeting here and try and get the bonus points from now on.
Absolutely, it's all about away wins and bonus points, and the pit lane looks quite empty.
Let's join Peter Collins and Tony Miller.
We see there Tony RICKARDSSON trying to salvage something from this from the inside gate in white. Jason Crump goes from gate 2. Leigh Adams, the Australian, RICKARDSSON's partner for Kings Lynn, goes from gate 3. And on the outside, it's Sam TESAR. Peterborough, unbeaten at home in all competitions this season. Paul drew here in the Craven Shield. But with 5 home league meetings to follow after this one, Peter must have a great chance of picking up bonus points and 2 points a time at least. And
together if he's going to do just that.
Starling Marshall moves away, up they go. Away on the inside this time does go Tony RICKARDSSON, but picking it up is Jason Crump. RICKARDSSON takes him wide. This is a better ride by Tony RICKARDSSON, but there goes Crump down the outside, and now RICKARDSSON will need all his skill to hold off the speed of the Australian, who is picking it up down the outside. Crump picks it up, Crump comes across, Crump goes in front. What a battle between these two. The existing world champion, Tony RICKARDSSON, in white. I wonder if Jason Crump is to be a future world champion of this this form, the sky's the limit, surely.
So we're seeing some fantastic racing in this meeting, even though the scores aren't too close. There, Jason Crump just showed you how it's done to overtake the world champion like that. Unbelievable. Riding the outside line, Tony covering the inside. Now Jason's just pulling away, looking so fast in this race.
With a lap and a bit to go here, Jason Crump out front for his 4th Heath victory of the night. One more and it'll be a televised maximum. Joined us Thomas Golob and others in similar form, but Jason Crump down the back straight ahead of world champion Tony Rickardson in 2nd place. Back in 3rd now in blue is the teammate and partner Sam TESAR. Looks back, he's in 3rd place, 4 points to 2 yet again for Peterborough. They now lead by 49 points to 27. But Jason Crump knew he was in a battle from the start. He made the best of it, a magnificent pass against the world champion there as they went into the 2nd lap. The congratulations of the fans show their hero to be Jason Crump with his 4th successive heat victory of the night. And really, for Jason Crump, he's looking brilliant.
Oh, Tony, that was a fabulous ride there from Jason Crump. You can see here on the start, Tony Rickardson on the inside makes the perfect start. Now, Tony rides the inside here, totally covers that inside. Now, Jason isn't wide enough to get round the outside at that point. We can see this again on the start. Tony right down to that inside. We know all the grips down there low. Jason there on the outside of him, just stalking his back wheel. Now he comes onto the back straight. Rickardson pulls away, but leaves too much of a gap down the fence. Now I don't know why Tony left that gap. Perhaps he thought Jason was alongside him, but Jason then, that's all the gap he needed to go right out wide in that dirt and zoom straight past Tony Rickardson. Tony's riding too tight. He's not riding out wide enough, and he allowed Jason there a massive hole to go through down the outside there. And in this form, Jason is just so brave. A fantastic ride from him.
Well, Jason Crump will surely be in action in Heat 15, which would give him a maximum. And now he's with Susie Perry.
Jason Crump, Mr. Invincible of the night. We're sick of your name. No, just joking. Just kidding. Unbelievable night, another win. Of course, you'll be riding in the final, so are we looking at a maximum tonight?
No, I don't think I'm in the final tonight. We've got a rotor system here at Peterborough. We take it in turns, and I was out in the last race last time, so I think that's it for me tonight.
Are you pulling my leg when you're in a maximum?
No, certainly not. It doesn't matter. We've just got a system amongst the riders because there's only one top scorers race, so we all take it in turns, so it evens out over the season.
That's a bit of a shocker. That's kind of typical of Peterborough's attitude, though. I mean, your team is so strong throughout the top end, right through. That you know, are all the guys happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, it seems to work very well. It's obviously it's an extra race, it's an extra opportunity to earn money, and you know, we just take it in turns basically, and hopefully it'll even out through the season.
Well, that's an interesting point of view. I've got a feeling that you don't like being second in the averages, and you're trying to please your cause tonight.
Well, you know, it's unbelievable. Tony probably hasn't had a meeting like this for a couple of years, and I guess I've been pretty lucky he's been off form tonight, you know, and I've been able to beat him a couple of times.
It's certainly an unbelievable night for Peterborough. No wonder you're smiling. But we're going to watch the next heat, and then we'll be looking forward to
Peterborough. He too having his share of the rides, retired once. It's Craig Watson on the inside in blue. BRHEL goes from gate 2 for Kings Lynn. Nigel SADLER from Peterborough goes in gate 3. And Paul Clues, the rider, a guest rider here, who races for Reading in the Premier League, former Coventry mascot, the 20-year-old from Coventry, goes on the outside. This is Heat 14, remember.
At the moment, after that third in the Under-21 World Championship.
Starling Marshall walks away. They're picking up on the inside. The battle is joined by Craig Watson. He's playing his part. BRHEL is in white, but look, going round the outside is Nigel SADLER. He's blocked off there by BRHEL. A good piece of riding there by the Czech for Kings Lynn. But Watson on pole at the moment. Watson holding it, going round the outside and picking it up. BRHEL goes round him as if he's standing still. And now BRHEL picks up the lead, but the two Peterborough riders in second and third place with Craig Watson. Paul Clues is at the back for Kings Lynn with nearly half the race gone now. The marvellous ride by the man out front, BRHEL, is surely going to give him a heat victory here. This will be some consolation to the fans from Kings Lynn.
Good ride from BRHEL here, really going well. What a ride him to come past Nigel SADLER and Craig Watson like that. What a brilliant ride there. Now he's commanding this race. Tucked in behind him, Craig Watson having a real good go, but not quite quick enough. Both riding the inside line.
At the back there is the disappointing and disappointment for Paul Clues. He has in front of him, of course, there a chance to make ground, but Nigel Sadler is going to hold him off. But the checkered flag is taken by BRHEL ahead of Craig Watson in blue. Third place there goes to Nigel Sadler in the red helmet colours, and that's a share of the points at 3-all. It's 52-32 with 1 heat to go, and a fine ride by BRHEL, the winner of heat 14. He becomes only the 3rd Kings Lynn rider to win a heat tonight. Of course, heat victories going previously to himself and to Leigh Adams. BRHEL 2 heat wins.
Yes, this is the start. We can see that the rider in white there, BRHEL, doesn't quite make the start. Craig Watson in the blues made a good run there, but just look round the outside, Nigel Sadler, it looks as though he's going through that gap, but there was no gap there at all. Now Craig Watson's covering that inside. It looks as though Craig's leading this race, but we know that BRHEL is right outside there, so wide in that dirt. There's lots of grip there, riding a totally different line there to Craig Watson, and zooms straight round into the lead. That's a brilliant ride, because basically a lot of riders are overtaking down on that same spot, and now BRHEL has got this race sewn up, riding a great line. There's lots of different lines here on the track tonight. Everything's really working well for him. He looks behind, realises he's on his own. Checkered flag, 3 points.
Goes from the inside in this one. Leigh Adams, the Australian from Kings Lynn, goes from gate 2. Sam TESAR for Peterborough, he goes from gate 3. And on the outside is BRHEL, who's had 2 heat victories and 3 second places. Easily the best scorer for the visitors from Kings Lynn. He goes, BRHEL in white. 2, and Sam TESAR is 1-2 for Peterborough. 7 heat victories between these 4 riders tonight. The starting marshal, Peter Thompson, gets them ready. This for the 6. Oh, look at that on the start. A somersault indeed from BRHEL. And our referee will surely have to stop this unless they can get BRHEL. No, he stopped that race. BRHEL did not make the 30-metre mark. His machine taking a tumble and going all over the place. I just wonder what happened there, Peter Collins, because BRHEL provided the aerobatics of the night, and of course for failing to reach the 30-metre mark on that is excluded from the rerun. He's the prime cause of the stoppage. Just 3 riders, and so out of the window goes the chance of a 5-1 for the visitors.
Yeah, Bo, you can see them on the start there. He drops the clutch. He hasn't even got time to get his feet off the footrest. The bike just loops straight over, far too much grip. Instant grip there. He lands completely on his back. Quite lucky that the bike didn't land on his chest, but I think the bike did catch his leg, and that's not the way to use the grip, because that is the best starting position, but he got far too much grip. That was just unbelievable. Absolutely no chance of recovering that, Tony.
Peter, when that happens, how do you keep it down when you get that much grip? How could you keep it down?
Yeah, well, what you do when you let go of the clutch, you keep your fingers on the clutch. So if the bike actually does lift, you can just pull that clutch in that little bit, reduce the drive on the back wheel, and so that pulls the front wheel down. But he had no chance to pull that clutch. He kind of dropped it, his fingers were still on it, but by the time he'd realised what was happening, it was far too late, and he was totally wiped out from that one. See that one again, he drops the clutch, feet still forward, no chance of, I mean, even having his legs back would help, because then you can paw with your toes to try and pull the front wheel back down, but that happened so instantly. He dropped the clutch, he never even went forward, he just completely did a somersault from a standing position and never moved forward whatsoever.
Very lucky indeed, perhaps not to get a serious back injury from that one, but look, he's up and about.
Well,
the gap with Adams moving on to the outside. Sam TESAR goes from gate 3 for Peterborough. Adams on the outside. A bit of a surprise that, Peter, changing his gate.
Well, he's allowed to do that change start position, and we'll see if Leigh gets it right this time, because it is very grippy out there. We just saw what happened to BRHEL there. Now Leigh...
Coming Leigh Adams in heat 4, which he won, provided at that time the 2nd heat victory for the visitors from Kings Lynn. Thereafter, it went fairly wrong. 5th, he might have a bid, gosh, PC.
I think so.
Starting marshal walks away they go on the inside. Sullivan picks it up, tucking in behind Leigh Adams. The rider in blue, Sam TESAR, holds 2nd place, but now Adams at the back, and this will extend the lead of their victory, the margin of their victory, by 4 points if it stays like this, because out front and going well in the red helmet colours is Sullivan, the Peterborough captain, Coming through on the inside, Sam TESAR. Tail off at the back now is Leigh Adams, and really Leigh Adams is going to have a go for it. He's going round the outside. He's trying to go by Sam TESAR. He's trying to catch out front, but TESAR is now going to come wide and close the gap with 2 laps gone. Now they're into lap 3, but it is not done yet for Leigh Adams, but he's losing ground down that back straight, but picks it up as he comes into the bend, and Adams is battling Peter.
Yeah, it's really interesting now that they're all riding such different racing lines on the circuit. Leigh Adams is trying that outside run. There's only really that he can try because Sam TESAR there is riding that inside line, but Leigh Adams again is going to go for the big blast now down this outside, but it's too far round, the grip's gone there. Sam TESAR's got that covered right now.
Sam TESAR looking for him now as they go round the back straight now, and still Leigh Adams is battling, still Leigh Adams is trying, and still as they look with a lap and a quarter to go now. Remember, this is over 6 laps for the Peterborough pair in front and giving nothing away now. They've given nothing away all night. Team riding now coming into place, but there goes Adams down the back straight. He squeezes through. Mechanical problems for TESAR. Something desperate happening there, and now Adams is having a go for the heat victory as they approach the line. He's held off by Sullivan in red. Adams gets 2nd place in yellow. Sam TESAR in blue looks down at the machine, which has had better days, it seems, here tonight. But 4 points to 2 is the heat margin in favour of the home club. Sullivan, winner of the 6-lap heat 15. 56-34 it is now. That is the winning margin for Peterborough. It's been a great night for the home fans. That man in blue, Sam TESAR, in the end, mechanical problems see him back in 3rd from the start. Well, they battled.
Well, this is the start. Sullivan makes a great start, but there with him is Sam TESAR. Now, when they ride the first turn, they're really tight there, all queuing up to get on that inside line. We can see there that Leigh Adams is pushed right down onto the grass, right low down there, all riding the tight line, but as the race moves on...
Well done. Yeah, fantastic. I couldn't be happier.
Shot out of gate 1 then, and really no problems at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, gate 1 was far better than any other gate there, and you know, you look at the other gates, and I just thought I knew I was going to...
Ryan, let's take a look at the league table as it stands at the moment. Ipswich got a good victory tonight against Wolverhampton. Bellevue a 2nd, but Peterborough doing exceedingly well in 3rd. What are your thoughts now?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people have sort of written us off, but we've done a lot of away matches, and we've got a lot of home matches to catch up on, and as you can see, we're pretty strong around home, and we're looking to do pretty well.
What message have you got for Ipswich and Bellevue?
Just beware.
All right, beware it is.
Madsen,